We're back with a Q&A show, brought to you, as always, by Naked Running Band. Discount code InnerFight15 for 15% off. Have you got yours yet?
No, but it's ordered.
There we go. That's what we like to hear.
Yeah.
First question.
We had a question similar to this a few weeks back regarding why we don't focus heavily on the metrics or the performance management charts in TrainingPeaks. And I think first you have to assume, or if we're going to use TrainingPeaks, we have to make sure that all of the data points in there are absolutely 100% correct. Now, if we assume that's the case, then I would say that yes, we would use it as a reference point, and I think as you sort of establish more and more historical data with your coach, you could definitely use that as a reference to say, okay, if my fatigue hits X, historically my performance has started to deteriorate. But I think where things are different for age group athletes here is that, you might be under a really heavy workload at work, or you might not be sleeping well, and I think TrainingPeaks doesn't really factor any of those in. So I would say yes, maybe use it as a reference point, but also factor in the external stresses which TrainingPeaks does not measure, and talk to your coach regularly about how you're feeling.
And use the metrics every morning to show how much sleep you're getting. Are you fatigued? Have you got muscle soreness? Do you feel tired? What's your resting pulse? Heart rate variability, which you've got a long podcast coming out soon on. All that should be mixed in. But like you say, the pure athletes out there who spend the rest of the day with their feet up, they're pretty good to use. I certainly like it for that. But
I hope that helps.
More mix how you feel. Next question. Interesting, certainly out here in the heat. Everyone, what I've found from advice of people is everyone has their own sort of system to work with. It's difficult. I would say you need to develop a plan through experience of ASLIB, which might be a really frustrating answer to hear, but I do think you need a plan, particularly in racing, but that plan cannot be the same. So Flanner's hydration plan would not be the same as my hydration plan. And it's got to come down to just purely how you feel during your sessions. But I think out here with this heat, we should be aiming for a minimum of 1 litre an hour.
Yeah, I would agree, 100%. And see how that goes. And if you're getting to the end of your sessions and you're 3 kilos less in an hour than you were when you started, then you're going to need some more.
Have you seen Lionel Sanders' hydration plan?
I saw what he did before his last race, which was a bit of a balls up. So hopefully he's changed that now.
He's increased the amount of fluid in it. He's going pure fluids.
Okay.
For Kona.
Right.
And it's very interesting. If you've not seen that, head on to YouTube and go onto Lionel Sanders' channel and do not mimic what he is doing.
And carb mixed drinks.
Carb mixed drinks.
Wow.
And he's drinking something like 1.5 litres per hour throughout the whole thing.
Let's hope it stays hot then and not a cool Kona day.
Yeah, okay. Hope that helps.
All right, another excellent question, and actually I think probably one of the shorter answers to this one. So TrainingPeaks has a standardized set of measurements based on your inputted maximum heart rate, and if you use the word standardized, I think none of us are standardized anymore. So they are assumed based on average values across average athletes. If you've got a tested MAF heart rate to work with, which I know for this particular gentleman we do, use it. Simple as that. And if you have a lab-tested aerobic threshold which is slightly different to your MAF result, use that. But unless you've got that from Aeroscan or something similar, MAF works really well. So.
And by MAF, we're talking about Maffetone. Dr. Phil Maffetone created this formula, which is 180 minus your age, plus or minus 5 beats to consider various lifestyle factors. And actually, a lot of people don't know it's a whole system of health.
Yeah.
And it's gained a lot of traction through, is it Pete Jacobs, I believe, who took it on and actually got back to be. I mean, he's an ex-Ironman champion, world champion.
Yeah.
And he took it on to help bring him back through a complete, I think it was an overtrained fatigue syndrome. Yeah. And so people get really obsessed with MAF. We use it as an aerobic marker, maximal aerobic function.
Yep.
And that's why we use it. We like the test. It's a very non-invasive test.
Yep.
It's better. It's not better than, but it's a different one to using a lactate threshold heart rate test, which can get pretty messy.
Bloody, yeah.
Yeah. So in this particular, like in this heat and at this stage of the season for most of our guys, the MAF test is quite a nice way to base correct training zones off.
And then if you're doing work at MAF or any particular heart rate, you can actually measure the aerobic decoupling, which may be a subject for another conversation, through TrainingPeaks. So we can sort of test it, give you a number to work with, and then validate that through the course of your training. So yeah, MAF all day long, unless you've got a lab tested other number.
Yeah, and we said this last week. A test is only as good as its repeatability.
Yeah.
And it's the same with the FTP tests,
Yep.
and it's the same with these tests. So as long as you're using the same system to judge your aerobic work from, that's what really counts. There is a term we say a lot on this show. The term is, it depends. And it couldn't be more, it couldn't be a better response for this question, really.
Yeah.
So you've got 10 hours in your week, you're training for a 70.3. Can you swim? That's what I want to know first.
Yep.
If you're like this guy and you're an absolute swimmer, then you're not going to spend as much time on your swim. If you're coming from a cycling background, then you're not going to need to push the bike too much. If you're coming from a complete zero run background, well, then we're going to look at quite a few hours going towards your run.
Yeah.
Does that 10 hours include your rehab, your prehab, your S&C work, your stretching? That all takes into account this 10 hours. If we're going to go from a generic plan, we're going to probably say 3 swims. I want probably minimum 2 runs. I'd like to see 3.
Yeah.
And if you're doing one really quite longer bike, then a nice short, sharp turbo. If you haven't got the longer bike in your legs, then probably 3 bikes a week as well.
Yeah.
And then sprinkle in some rehab work, 20 minutes in your day, 6 times 20 minutes, 2 hours a week. That's pretty good, isn't it?
It's all doable.
Yeah, that's very doable.
It's all doable.
So let us know a bit more on this, and we can help you structure your week.
Yeah.
And maybe we can do a show on actually structuring and show people how we would think it through.
Or how it might look different for different athletes. Because I think the bottom line is you want to allocate the time to each discipline that is going to give you the best result on race day.
Yeah. You want to keep your strengths and you want to improve your weaknesses.
Yeah.
To answer this question, we will get you to the link that you're seeing at the bottom right now, innerfight.com/IF Endurance. And the first thing you get to is a beautiful picture of our team at NAS.
Yep.
Then you get to see what's included, a timetable of all the sessions we have in a week, and then there's 3 blokes.
3 very handsome blokes.
Handsome blokes standing after one of our Track Tuesday events. And then you keep scrolling down and you can get started with us through a form, and at the bottom you've got your pricing. So we urge you to head to the website to have a look. But I just want to add what you do get is you get absolute, proven coaching from one of us, and you get a real sense of team environment at our events.
Yeah, so you get the coaching, the programming, access to all of the team sessions, which are now 4 a week. We have discounts with local partners. The list goes on and on and on.
Yeah, you get discounted rates at the gym with sessions here with me. You got bike fits. You get 24-hour access most of the time to us on chat.
Yeah, I sleep sometimes. Tom doesn't so much.
Yeah. Head to the link. I've actually sent you the link already. If you want to know any more information, please get back to us, because what we're hoping is this page tells you everything you need to know about InnerFight Endurance.
And if it doesn't, tell us what's missing.
Tell us what's missing. It's important.
Awesome.
Right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys, again. See you next week.
Oh, wait. Shout out to Bella Babes. Annabelle in the UK raced Weymouth last weekend. Said it was the hardest race she's ever done, because last week we asked.
And she didn't die.
She sent it in. She didn't die. But I heard the conditions were pretty rough, and she's got through it. So well done.
Well done, Annabelle.
Thanks for tagging us in the post. Love it.
Good work. Thanks, guys.